It's a beautiful morning. Look at that sky. Lots of clouds. So it's nice. I should be getting into Lordsburg maybe around lunchtime today. And so hopefully I'll stay nice and cool until then. Then I'll get in and get my resupply box and try to figure out what to do. Need to get out of town relatively early and get hiking and find a decent place to stay tonight. Sometimes it's a little hard when you're first going out of town to find a place because you're right on the outskirts of town, so there's houses and roads and things all over the place. So anyway, I'm gonna get on my way. I'm trying to get going this morning, but I just can't stop turning around taking pictures behind me. The sky just gets better and better every time I turn around. Amazing. Wow, okay. Gotta get going. By Pyramid Mountain. You've got to be kidding me. I just turned around again. Wow. Amazing. I didn't even get away from Pyramid Mountain yet. Beautiful. Somebody's trying to come through the time portal. Hurry, run. Thought I'd let you see what trail hair looks like. I did it this way just for you. Whoever you are watching this. I'm getting on here because I just felt one raindrop right here. And then about 2 minutes later, I felt one right here. And just now, as I was starting to talk to you, I felt one right here. So, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of clouds. There was, I think, a 5% chance of rain, which, I think they say that in New Mexico, just like they say that in Oklahoma. The weather can change on a dime, so they hedge their bets by saying 5% no matter what all the time. But anyway, might get a little sprinkler, that might be it. I'll certainly get back on if it starts pouring. All right, well, it's not raining very hard at all, just sprinkling, but it's about 50, looks like it's about 51, maybe 52 on my thermometer. And there's a little more of a breeze blowing than there has been. It's not a big breeze, but decent. So, it was a little chilly anyway, at times. And thought, well, I better get my rain jacket out. This is my light duty that I wear when I'm kind of just going to be out in the open like this. I know some people that bike and stuff like that will wear these. But I wore one time on the Washita Trail where it's really overgrown, and I just shredded that thing to pieces and just had to put duct tape all over it to get me through the rest of the trail, and then just threw it away. So anyway, but I knew I needed to get in and get this just in case it started to really rain, because it was on the very bottom of my pack. Of course you organize things so they make sense throughout the day, whatever you might need, whatever you don't need, whatever you just need tonight when you get to camp, etc. So I pulled out my tent, I pulled out my sundries bag, I pulled out my tent stakes, pulled out my food bag, pulled out my clothing bag, which is what this was in. Kind of my second clothing bag. I sort of have the clothing bag of stuff I might need throughout the day, and then the clothing bag of stuff I absolutely won't need. This was in the absolutely won't need bag on bottom. And then that's also what I keep my sleeping bag in. So I'd pull my sleeping bag out and pull all my clothes out, because this is on the very bottom of the absolutely won't need bag. So anyway, I got it, and I thought, well, what the heck, I got it out, I might as well put it on. It started to sprinkle a little more, but I feel like maybe it's stopped now, so I'll probably stop here in 5 minutes and take it back off. Those are mountains to come. In a few days. The big bowl over there. Well, I'm glad he's running that way. Well, I'm walking directly towards Lordsburg, so I'm guessing way off in the distance there. You see a few things and some cars on the interstate. I-10 goes right through Lordsburg. Of course, that's where I got off the bus. I'm assuming that's where I'm heading. All right. There. Yeah. All right, not long. An hour. Maybe a little more. Maybe an hour to get to the very southern edge. There's a little park down there apparently and stuff. So maybe an hour to get there and then a little bit longer to get to the actual town. Well, that's what I was seeing before. Looks like some factory or something on the outskirts of town maybe, but here is more what that's the town I'm heading towards. So looks like it's not too far away. Well, this is oftentimes what trail magic looks like, but I can't imagine in December there's no one on this trail. There's actually anything here. I don't know. It looks like, I mean, it could be a cooler that's been sitting here for 5 months. We're gonna find out. Oh, disappointment. Boo. Oh, the feeling when you open one of those up and there's a bunch of Cokes and Snickers bars and chips and whatever in it is magnificent. But can't get your hopes up because a lot of times it's just old garbage. There's a shooting range behind me. There's some people shooting back there and aluminum cans laying all over the place and stuff. So I guess that's unusual to see on a long trail like this, but every once in a while when you get close to town there'll be something, park or some kind of thing going on where, you know, you get the normal refuse laying around. Came from back that way, maybe not quite a mile. There's the Veterans Park, and so that means about a mile up here to the Econo Lodge and I-10. I don't think I mentioned yet that it's Christmas Eve. Well, I've been in Lordsburg for an hour. Got my box at Econo Lodge, unpacked and repacked. Went to McDonald's, got a drink. Now I'm heading out of town. So I need to find somewhere to dump this and do a few miles on Christmas Eve. All right, so the trail goes underneath I-10 and also under the railroad tracks. So those are the tracks that the Amtrak comes in on. If I would have taken that instead of the bus. A little bit I've walked around this town. This is what I've seen. If the business is not on the main thoroughfare right off the interstate and fueled by the interstate, I'm sure, then it no longer exists. Unfortunately, it looks like a town that has largely died out. But I guess I'm glad it's got the interstate. It can at least keep it going a little bit. So here we go. Silver City, 45 miles. Always weird. Always weird. Coming through a place like this, seeing these signs, and thinking if I was in a car, you know, I'd be there in 40 minutes. Instead, I'll be there in 4.5 days. Oh well, 4.5 days. All right, Lordsburger's in the rearview mirror. 2 or 3 miles, probably 2 miles now, out of town. I split off and hike another highway for another mile or something before I end up getting off trail. So anyway, I will be back in Lordsburg though in a few days. In about 8 days, when I go to the same McDonald's I was just at and catch the Greyhound back to Oklahoma. Boy, this has been boring. Well, I'm about to turn right here onto 90. Thought I'd show you this Gila Cliff Dwelling sign. Pretty big deal. That is actually where I will end my hike if everything goes well. If not, then I'll see it in the summer, next summer, when I come to start where I'm leaving off this time. So anyway, I'm going to take Highway 90 here to the right, towards Silver City. As you can see, the sign behind it says. And yeah, I don't know how long I have to do that. Maybe another mile before I get off on an actual trail. We'll see. All right. About to get off the road here, finally. I have heard that this part is notoriously poorly marked, so I may just have to keep looking at my app and trying to figure it out. This is kind of hilarious. I don't even have an entrance. You just tied up the barbed wire fence and you got to go under it without hooking yourself. All right, see ya. Well, hiking out of town like I did, it's put me in kind of a middle ground in a couple of ways. One, I'm not going to get to any water today, so I had to carry everything I need, you know, like I've done a couple of times already. Carry everything I need to get to the next water, plus, you know, maybe another liter for overnight and food and that kind of stuff. So carrying a little extra weight now. Of course, I just resupplied, so, you know, I was down, you know, 8 pounds, maybe 9 pounds in food. Now I'm back up to about the same, so got a bunch of extra weight on me. The other thing is, from what I can tell from looking at the topographic map, I'm gonna end up kind of in those foothills up there, or just the area that's sloping up towards the mountains, maybe at the end of my day. So I don't know. I'm not gonna end up like up in anywhere, so I'm not sure. You know, I wouldn't want to tent right here, middle of like some farmer's fields, you know. So we'll see where that puts me. I know several miles ahead there's some power lines. You can almost see them here in the video, just barely. You don't want to tent there. I know that's about 5 miles, so once I get to there, I'll go a couple more miles beyond that. So who knows? Maybe I'll end up in the mountains. Maybe I'll have to get creative. CDT is of the big 3 through hike trails in the United States. It's the one that has, you know, just been kind of still pieced together. It's really missing a lot of segments, and you know, it's why there's so much road walking, because they just haven't been able to secure land and rights from different people. And you know, I can imagine it's such a monumental task. Like this thing I'm walking across right now, who knows, you know, I don't know if this is, maybe this is government land, BLM land or something. And you know, there's obviously cattle on it. Maybe it was easy for them to get access to this because of that. And there's also a farmer who, you know, leases it for cattle, or maybe it's a private guy's land, and he said, you know, sure, on a year-to-year basis, I'll let you guys just cross it and see if we have any issues, or I mean, who knows? But there's so many sections like this, and every year, you get some notification from the CDT that they managed to close this one area. There's an area up near Cuba, Mexico, that I think they've managed to, or they're getting really close to, sort of sealing up the whole plan, so there's actually kind of a permanent trail. So anyway, there's a lot of just walking along highways or roads or something like this just to connect. And I don't know, it doesn't seem to change that quickly, because there's so much to do. All right, I've been walking for about 2 hours. I think I climbed a total of about 3.5 inches the whole time. And now here we go. Look at that, going uphill. I think I'm going up like probably 3 feet. Oh, my heart can't handle it. Neither can the birds. First of all, that is amazing right there. Beautiful. But secondly, just getting a perspective, that's the backside of the Pyramid Mountains. I went through yesterday. I went through and then back behind that hill and everything and all around, and then coming in the back of Lordsburg. So that is Lordsburg. Kind of up on top of the town, you can see those white tanks that I walked right by there. And down next to the cemetery, Shakespeare Cemetery, which I wondered why it would be named Shakespeare Cemetery. And then when I crossed that historical plaque earlier, it explained about the town of Shakespeare. Anyway, I just thought that's interesting to see it all from the other side. And then, of course, from Lordsburg, I went off that way, and then walked, 5 miles, whatever, through here to here. I could have just come straight across, except I'm sure that wasn't legal. Somebody have to cross and walk somewhere you're not supposed to. But anyway, kind of cool to see it from here. And going up here, not very far. A couple of road crossings, and then I will have done 20 miles for the day-ish. I might stop slightly short of that, because I'm about done. And since Lordsburg is a bit up on the hill, I'm still getting a cell signal, although I don't know how good. I'm going to see if I can't video call into my family and say Merry Christmas Eve. They're all getting together, having dinner. My mom's. And so, yeah, we'll see if I can get a hold of them. Well, I've almost done 20 miles for the day. I think I'm done. I'm ready to set up camp. The problem is, it's a little windy. I need some, oh, there's a wash right there I didn't see. I need some rocks to put on my tent stakes. So I'm hoping I can find some here. And in this wash, I was thinking I was kind of doomed. And I don't want to walk much further because I'm going to start getting into power lines, and you can see there's power line after power line after power line for a mile. So, okay, well, I think I'm in luck. There's a couple little rocks, so if I dig around here, I bet I can find something. All right, time to make a plan and get set up.